What's up, everybody? This is Francisco from Sports Goofs. There's another entry in SG Mini. Just tiny little entries, basically me and my solo opinions as to what's going on in sports, and if I feel like talking about something, then I'll talk about it. So, I guess right now, the big story, I guess, would be that the Los Angeles Lakers have failed to make the playoffs and have failed to even make the play-in round in the NBA for the 2022 season. A team comprised of LeBron James and Russell Westbrook and Carmelo Anthony and Rajon Rondo and Anthony Davis did not make the playoffs. Now, the construction of this team is awful. I can't even name you anybody else on that team that's most likely on their bench or what have you. I can't name anybody else. That team was horribly constructed. And people are like, oh, LeBron James is not the GM. LeBron James is pushing around the Lakers. And right now, I don't even know how much he's in love with Los Angeles itself. I think, and like the prospect of playing for the Lakers, I don't think he's in it to be part of the Lakers. I think he's more in it to be in Los Angeles and promote his entertainment endeavors. That's why he's there. So if the Lakers don't make the playoffs, then whatever. They got a championship, but now they really were the perfect bubble team. That Los Angeles Lakers 2020 team. Not the Miami Heat that faced them, because the Miami Heat that faced them are number one in the Eastern Conference right now. That Lakers team was a perfect bubble team. Anthony Davis can maintain himself in a bubble. Outside of that, people say that, he's basically glass, but I don't think people realize how strong glass can be. No, Anthony Davis is that sugar glass that they use for special effects in the movies. That's what Anthony Davis is. He's ceramic. He's a very thin potato chip. Like he does not hold up whatsoever. And LeBron James is older now. His conditioning is fantastic, but he's starting to get more injuries, more maintenance days. And he did all he could. I truly believe he did all he could. And at some point it was just he can't carry this team to glory. He can't. The NBA is just too good right now. There are too many good teams for them to sneak on by. He could do it in the Eastern Conference in 2005 with that Cavaliers team. But the NBA nowadays, with more parity and more talent spread around, also, I feel like the spread of talent in the NBA is a lot better, and teams are better equipped to, I guess, handle guys moving on to some of these bigger markets. But even then, I think the NBA is not really about that anymore. I think guys can promote themselves better thanks to social media, that they don't really need to be in a big media market in order to do that. So I think really it's not LeBron's fault that the Lakers didn't make it this far with regards to his play, but the construction of the team, yeah, he's had some influence. Anthony Davis was there. Anthony Davis was already there. Rajon Rondo was already there. But Carmelo Anthony, I think that was LeBron trying to get his buddy a ring, thinking, come on down to LA. We got a team ready to go, and you'll get one more shot at a championship. Yeah. Carmelo did what he played within his role. I think Carmelo's done a better job in his really in the twilight years of his career compared to other NBA players who couldn't realize that they really need to lower their roles and they're not what they were when they were 27. And that's what Carmelo's done. But so there's that. But Russell Westbrook is not the same player anymore. And playing for that Lakers team with that pressure, and he's from LA. And it must really suck to be in your hometown and people hate you. People want you off the team. People don't want you there. That must really suck. And it came to a head this season with threatening him, his family. Like that, people are insane. Like Los Angeles fans don't deserve anything good. They've had enough. They've had enough. The karmic gods of the sporting world need to stop with Los Angeles. The Dodgers, the Kings, the Lakers, the Rams, USC, UCLA. Like, that's it. Anaheim's far enough. The Ducks and the Angels are fine. But the rest, and the Clippers are whatever. Oh, I forgot the Chargers play there too. But man, if you like all those guys are on the wrong side of 30. Speaking from a guy who is also on the wrong side of 30. But my wrong side of 30 doesn't. I work in a career that doesn't require me to be on the right side of 30. Gosh, man. What a shit show. But the rest of the NBA world is happy. That is for sure. And, well, I mean, since the last time I did this, we'll update you one more time. Right now, there's only one play-in spot left, and it's in the Western Conference. It's really between the Denver Nuggets and the Minnesota Timberwolves. The Nuggets should lock up their 6th seed, so they don't have to play in the play-in tournament. So it's likely going to be Minnesota, who have a winning record, are 10 games above 500 for the first time in forever. And will face off in so like right now, the play-in tournament has Minnesota versus the Los Angeles Clippers, and then the New Orleans Pelicans versus the San Antonio Spurs. The winner between the Spurs and Pelicans will go off to face the loser of the Wolves-Clippers game. And then those two, whoever wins with that, will go off to face the Phoenix Suns. On the other side, it's looking like it's going to be Cleveland versus Brooklyn. And in that play-in, then you have Atlanta versus Charlotte. So the winner between Atlanta and Charlotte will go off against the loser between Cleveland and Brooklyn. And whoever wins that will go on to face the Miami Heat. And then the rest of the first round is Philadelphia, Toronto, Brooklyn, Chicago, and then Boston versus the winner between Cleveland and Brooklyn. And so then you have for the rest of the Western Conference is Dallas, Utah, then Golden State versus Denver, and Memphis will face off with either Minnesota or the Clippers. So that's the NBA. That's what's going on right now. The Heat should be able to hopefully wrap up the Eastern Conference with 2 games left for pretty much everybody. They're 2 games ahead of Boston. So there's that. And yeah, it seems to be it with the rest of that. And and some of that seeding could change between some of these teams. Boston and Milwaukee and Philadelphia are pretty close. It seems like Toronto is where they're at. That they pretty much where they're going to be. Same thing with Chicago. So those teams know that they will be going on the road and facing off against either Boston, Milwaukee, or Philadelphia. And then in the Western Conference, Memphis is set where they're at. Same thing with Phoenix. And you can have some interchangeability between Golden State and Dallas. And then interchangeability between Utah and Denver. And of course, Minnesota could always stage a comeback and try and get there. But I don't really think Denver's going to lose that final spot. So that's the NBA's stuff. Well, then we've got the National Hockey League. Florida Panthers with an amazing game, coming back from 5-1 down to beat the Toronto Maple Leafs 7-6 in a game where they really did need to prove that they could beat Toronto, and they did. So the Panthers have pretty much beaten every significant team in the NHL this season. Toronto, Boston, Carolina, New York, Pittsburgh, Tampa, Washington. Heck, even the West, they beat Colorado. Like it's something right now. It is something, but there are still 12 games left for pretty much most of these teams, 12, 11, and maybe 13 games for some. So it's not entirely over. However, we're getting close. We're getting close in the NHL. Right now, the Eastern Conference is pretty much set with the 8 teams, like I said before. But now it's just a matter of seeding. The Metro Division is still up for grabs. The Panthers have a bit of a lead over Toronto, 8 points ahead of them with 12 games left to try and wrap up the Atlantic Division. And they're 6 points up on Carolina to try and see if they can get the best record in the East. They're 2 points back of Colorado for the President's Trophy and home ice throughout the playoffs. And it seems like Washington's basically settled into that second wildcard spot, unless Tampa falters a lot, or Boston. Not sure if Washington's going to be able to make up 7 points in ground over the course of 12 games. But hey, crazier things have happened in the NHL. Then Colorado's pretty much set where they're at. They are probably going to get the best record in the Western Conference. Well, at this point, they've pretty much clinched it. They've pretty much clinched it at this point. It'd be pretty impossible for Minnesota to come back over the course of the rest of their 13 games to move ahead of Colorado. But interchangeable between Minnesota and St. Louis in that second and third spot for home ice between that round between those two teams. It doesn't seem, and also St. Louis has a 6-point lead on Nashville and 7 on Dallas for the third spot in the Central Division. Nashville and Dallas hold those 2 wildcard spots, and then Vegas is sitting outside looking in with 3 games out of hand on Dallas. So Dallas has 3 games in hand and 1 point up on Vegas at this point. So it's looking not so good for Vegas, which will be the first time in their franchise's history they won't make the playoffs. And Calgary leads the Pacific Division. They've got a 7-point, or is it a 7-point lead? Or no, it's a 6-point lead over Edmonton. And the Los Angeles Kings are 8 points back. Or 7 points back, actually. 7 points back. And yeah, well, we'll see. It's interchangeable between home ice between Edmonton and Los Angeles. The battle for Wayne Gretzky's soul, if you will. Calgary, they play consistent here. They'll most likely wrap up that Pacific Division. And that's it from the Western Conference in the NHL. And I'm recording this late, so later on today is opening day for Major League Baseball. However, there's been some issues with regards to the weather, as the weather's not really cooperating around here. So some games that were supposed to be happening are not. And hold on, my MLB app is taking forever to load at this point, which is not good. Not good at all. Let's try this again, shall we? Come on. I know it's late. You guys can't be down for server maintenance. So here we go. So opening day. As of now, the only games that have been postponed, we got Minnesota and Seattle. That's been postponed, as well as Boston and the New York Yankees. That's also been postponed, and we'll see for the rest of the games how they fare. But the team that will be opening up, the first game will be between Milwaukee and Chicago over at Wrigley Field. And you got Cleveland and Kansas City, then Pittsburgh and St. Louis, New York and Washington, the Mets. I think that's what I mean. The Cincinnati Reds and the Atlanta Braves. And the Braves will be, that'll be at prime time at 8 o'clock. The Braves will be debuting their gold-trimmed uniforms and most likely will be trotting out their World Series rings. Then the Astros and Angels out in California, San Diego and Arizona to finish out the night for opening day. Now my team, the Marlins, doesn't play until Friday. They go off to San Francisco and we'll play them. And we'll see if the Yankees and Red Sox get it going early in the day. Chicago, the White Sox are off in Detroit. The Oakland A's are in Philadelphia. So the A's have returned to Philly to face off against Philly. Baltimore and Tampa Bay will play their first game. Same thing with the Dodgers and the Rockies. And Seattle, Minnesota, see if they can get the game off the ground as well. Then Texas will be off to Toronto. So they've crossed the border over there. And yeah, so that's what we have. So that's baseball. It's happening, folks. Baseball is going to be happening. Real baseball that counts, will be happening. So I'm excited about that. Well, as far as that's concerned, I guess I got some internal stuff between the crew at Sports Goofs. Andrew tried a chimichanga for the first time in his life, and it was quite good. He thoroughly enjoyed it. We have been thoroughly enjoying, well, mainly me. I have been thoroughly enjoying introducing Andrew's palate to tastier fares, if you will. And first time was the Milanesas. Heck, before even that, I took him to a few places, but now we're adamant to at least get him to someplace new, and hopefully it's like a weekly thing that we can do, a weekly luncheon where we order in and we try and get him to try something new. So Charles is not happy about it because he's missing out. He's missing out between all of us. So I sent Charles the menu. It was from a place called Taco Rico. I guess if we had to have a non-sponsor, it would be this. Charles was sad because he just got a smoothie for today, and he hates all of us. So that's fine. That's fine. And Andrew went for chimichangas. Charles and I had harped about chimichangas, thanks to our mutual love of It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. And when Mac was getting fat and introduced Dennis to chimichangas. So that kind of resonated with us. I got flautas, though. Flautas. Those were nice, crunchy corn tortillas rolled up with some meat inside of it. Some meats and some corns and just yummy. Just yum, yum, yum. And Charles was not happy to see us enjoying ourselves. Of course, we took photos. We took photos of our food and sent it to Charles. And he told us to go up ourselves, which was great. And Andrew didn't want to talk about what he felt about chimichanga. At least he didn't want to post it on our group chat. However, I wanted to get him to tell me what his review of the chimichanga was. As he was speaking to me, I was pretending like I was like scrolling my phone for something else or adjusting or whatever, or wiping my mouth or something like that. But as he was speaking, I was writing a brief summary of what he felt. So his assessment, this is what I posted. That he said that that was amazing. There was cheese. It fell apart, but it was tough to eat at times. But the cheese gave it more structure. It was very cheesy. It was not spicy. The meat was good. It was not runny. He got ground beef with his, by the way, inside of his chimichanga. The distribution to him felt uneven with regards to the ingredients inside of the fried burrito, but that's basically what a chimichanga is. So, but the back end where the cheese came in with like the sour cream, and this is basically I try to find a way to type this out, but the only way you can really say it is to say it. Oh, that was heaven. And then he did a second, but I didn't write that to Charles. Andrew, of course, tried to say that he didn't want me to he didn't want to even say it. He didn't want to cause Charles more pain. I of course, put a mission accomplished gif of Kronk from Emperor's New Groove to show off my how proud I was with what I did, and Charles said that he hated all of us. So, mission accomplished. I felt like I'm happy that Andrew had the chimichangas. The flautas were good too. Just everything was good. My flautas came with, of course, the refried beans and the bit of rice, chips and salsa. So good. So good. And that's it, everybody. That's it for this Sports Goofs Mini. I'm Francisco. You can always follow us on everything. We're on Twitter at sports_goofs. You can also follow us individually. I'm at FJOGR. Charles is at Charles the True. Andrew is at Damp Frijoles. And we're also on Instagram and TikTok at Sports Goofs as well. You can check us out on YouTube if you want to see our past episodes. Most of them are back on there. Heck, just listen to us on the podcast stuff. Pretty much, every episode that we've ever done is on whatever podcast app that you're listening us on. I didn't even say that correctly, but it doesn't matter. The sentiment holds true regardless. We're on everything. Our net is cast pretty damn wide, and at some point you're going to see the Goofs, because we are the Marianas Trench of sports media. And every once in a while, someone who wants to come down and see us. Take care, everybody.